Welcome everyone to the 2022 Lumberjack Football National Signing Day, presented by the Orthopedic and Spine Institute. I'm Stacey Nisobe. You know our first guest coming up. That's going to be head football coach Chris Paul. Later on, over the next half hour or so, you'll hear from both offensive coordinator Aaron Pflugrad and defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge, following what is always an exciting day, not only for NAU football, but for the 29 young men, the newest members of our Lumberjack family. But without further ado, let's get the show started and bring in head coach Chris Paul. Coach Paul, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And Coach, as I mentioned, 29 signees between the early December signing period and of course today, National Signing Day. Would love to get an opening statement from you about the complete 2022 NAU football signing class.
Well, you know, it started a year ago. This time last year, we started working on our 22s, and it was sort of a unique year. The year before, we had to do a lot of it by Zoom. It was nice to get out and get to meet some of these quality young men that we have. You know, it's hard, a lot of hard work. It's something, recruiting something we work on every day. I want to commend the staff on the hard work and the effort they put into recruiting. We were very, very picky about who we're bringing into our program right now. We feel that our culture is very, very strong and we're heading in the right direction. This thing is quickly becoming player-led, which we needed it to be at this time and place in this time of our program. And so we were very, very picky on who we brought in. We've got some quality leaders on our team. We've got 15 members on our Players Council that were voted on by their teammates. And we broke them up, our current team right now, into 15 teams. And we're teaching them how to lead. And so the people that we bring in here from now on have got to be quality people and be our type of guys. And so the thing that we really concentrated on in this class was character, work ethic, smart, mental toughness, and talent. Okay. And we didn't just bring somebody in here because they were talented. In fact, we turned quite a few guys away. And we really put the emphasis on the traits. And we feel that we got a class that's very talented, but also has the traits that we're looking for. The staff, you know, our support staff was very, very involved in our recruiting. You know, Jessica Lopez did a tremendous job, is doing a tremendous job with our athletics, with our academics. She was very involved in the weekend. She was actually the first person that they met with when they got on campus. Amanda Bach and Bo, they both are our trainers, got with them during the weekend. And then our strength coach, Tyler Shoemate, spent some quality time with them. And then our equipment guy, Christian, did a great job with showing them the type of equipment we have. So, you know, we've got about a staff of 18 people, and then we got another support staff of 16 people that are very, very involved. So we sold the people in our program. Okay, well, that's what we felt is our positive. Our relationship with our players is the best thing we do, and we wanted to show that. We do this for one reason: to make a difference in a young man's life and help him accomplish the goals that he has. Well, in order to do that, we need to surround him with the people that are going to help him do those things, academically, athletically, socially. Those are all things that we've got to help our young men improve in. And we've got to surround them with not just football coaches that have relationships with them, but academic coordinators, trainers, strength coaches, equipment people, have all involved in their experience here. So we thought it was important to get them involved in the recruiting process. And again, they did a tremendous job. Our players did a good job. Our players did a great job of selling our program when they got on campus, which I think is very, very important. Like I said, we feel great. We're very, very proud of our culture and where it's at right now and the people that are leading this football team. So they're very, very involved. Flagstaff, NAU, Flagstaff is not a hard sell. We've got a great school. We've got a great location, which is consistently ranked in the top 5 in the country as a top 5 college towns in the country. And the one thing that Mike Marlowe and his team have done a tremendous job with is providing us with state-of-the-art facilities. And that's the icing on the cake. They come to campus and they're not going to see anything nicer. Any school they go to, they are not going to see anything nicer than what's going on in our facilities. And Mike's done a tremendous job and his group of getting that finished up. And I'm holding off. I haven't seen it for about 6 months, but I'm holding it off, and I'm going to go in there with the athletes. We're taking our athletes in there in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to go in there with them, and I'm going to be one of those kids jumping around with my phone, going crazy, because the recruits would come back and tell me how great it looks and everything else, and they've never seen anything like it. And it's a state-of-the-art facility that is really, really making the difference in our football program and our athletic and all our athletes on campus. So very, very excited about that. We did a good job. We sort of spread the net this year as far as states. We 6 states. We got kids coming from 6 different states. We've got 11 guys coming from the state of Arizona, 11 guys coming from the state of California, 2 from Texas, 1 from New Jersey, and 2 players from Georgia. So 8 of those signees are here right now. We did not tap into the portal. We only took 2 portal players, a tight end and I believe it was what was the other portal guy we took? But 2 portal guys and 2 JUCO guys. We felt like, we're building a program that's going to last. We're building a program we're going to do with high school players, and we're going to use the portal and JUCO players to handle the needs. We feel that we can, with the portal out there, there's a lot of high school players that aren't getting recruited. So we really, really took advantage of that and got some quality high school football players. Very pleased with this class. I feel really good about the tight end position. We did a great job of firming that position up. That's going to allow us to run the ball a little bit better than we have in the past, or continue to run the ball. We did lead one of the better rushing teams in the conference. Kevin Daniels was one of what led the conference in rushing. So, but we needed to gain some more depth at the tight end position, and felt like we did that through the portal and through recruiting. But met all our needs. We hit the secondary pretty hard. We got 4 or 5 offensive linemen, all over 300 pounds, which we needed some size. And, we got some speed at the wide receiver position with the 2 kids we got from Texas, and the kid, Keophas, the kid we got from Foothill Junior College. So feel really good about where we're at, feel really good about where we're headed. We've been a young football team. That's not an excuse anymore. We're past that. Our freshmen and sophomores have played a lot of football here. And so we're moving into the next stage of our program right now. We're in winter conditioning. Coach Shoemate is lifting them 4 days a week. We're having a competition session on Friday mornings. If you want to come out and watch us, it starts at 6 a.m. It's not very warm out there, but we're getting out there and getting after it. It's been really, really good for our football team. Feel great where we're at. The players are really bought in. And again, I'm going to say it again, we feel great about our culture and the direction we're heading.
Thanks, Coach. Really appreciate the opening remarks. And got a couple of questions for you before we turn it over to your pair of your coordinators. Since you've gotten here, the one thing you've always talked about is building an Arizona All-Star team, winning a national championship with Arizona being the base. And you added 12 from Arizona in this class, highlighted by, maybe Angel Flores, quarterback out of Casa Grande, the 4A Conference Player of the Year. But last week, the final week before signing day, you and your staff collectively went out to visit about 140, maybe a little bit more than 140 high schools across the state of Arizona. How important is it to establish these relationships, not only for now, but for the future?
Well, it's very important, because these players that are in our backyard are the ones that we should be getting. This is a special place. It's close to home. One of the most attractive things, I've said this before, most attractive things about this job was the recruiting base. And we've got great football in this state. We've developed a lot of great relationships. The high school coaches, I think I know we've done a great job with them, so they're willing to help. And you know, there's plenty of players for us to recruit in the state of Arizona. You know, we've taken advantage of the opportunity or the window that has been open to recruit the state like we do. And when, you know, last week, I thought it was very, very important to end up the recruiting season, because we haven't been out as much as you normally have over the year and a half, just because of COVID. So I thought it was important this last week being out that we hit as many schools as we can within the state of Arizona, and make sure we get a good handle on the possible walk-ons, possible Lumberjack Scholarship Award players, and then for 2023 recruiting class. So it's a great recruiting base that we have, but we know what we need to branch out. You know, we're becoming a national brand. We've got some great things to sell. You know, the facility again is as nice as the facilities there is in the country, and you know, that's out there. That's out there. The things that we're doing and school wise, and the things that we're doing in our athletic department, it's out there. So, you know, we got a direct flight to Dallas, Texas, which is very convenient for us. And it's a great place to recruit, because you can cover the bang for your buck is really, really good, because you can hit a lot of schools and watch a lot of kids practice football, especially in the spring. So, and then we got California. You know, I think we signed 12 California kids. And that's always going to be there for us. You know, there's 28 million people in Southern California, and it's not far away. So we've done a good job there too. And then, you know, a lot of people are interested. It's amazing the texts that we get, and the number of people that are interested in coming to Flagstaff and playing for the Lumberjacks.
Coach, that's a great segue into my last question here. You talk about NAU football becoming a national brand. People are getting to know who Northern Arizona University is across this country. And according to 24/7 Sports, NAU has the top recruiting class in the Big Sky Conference for the second year in a row. Now, obviously, the ultimate goal is to get the guys in, develop them, and win ball games and win championships. But for now, on National Signing Day, that type of distinction, how much of a pride point is that for NAU football?
Well, it just shows how hard everybody's working. You know, it starts with Mike Marlowe, you know, him getting the facility up to power, and you know, there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. You know, it's our staff. It's amazing. Our staff, the hours they put into this, and the hours Mike's put into this, you know, the hours that Tyler Shoemate puts in it. We are developing our young players to become really, really, really good players and people. And there's a lot of effort that goes into it. And the hardest thing we do is holding our players accountable to the standard that we hold them to. And we're holding them to a standard to help them accomplish their dreams and their goals. We're not lowering the standard around here. We're not lowering the standard around here facility-wise. We're not lowering the standard around here athletically, academically. There's a standard to be met, and it's not for everybody. And the work that goes into that is exhausting at times. But at the end of the day, we're developing young men to be contributors to society, to be good husbands, to be good fathers someday. And they're going to want to come back here and continue to watch the Lumberjacks dominate the FCS. We're building a football program. You can't do that by taking transfers and a bunch of just talented guys. You got to take guys with traits. You got to take guys that have good character, that have a good work ethic, that are smart, that are mentally tough and talented. Okay, and there's a way to do things, and the way isn't. You know, the right way to build a program is to do it with the right people, and it takes a little bit of time to do it the right way. But you know, we're in a conference. It's the toughest FCS conference in America. It's hard to build a program. It's hard, but we're going to stay with the plan because it's going to work. And you know, Tyler Shoemate, you want to come watch somebody work? You want to come watch what a big time weight with program looks like, come watch our guys work out. 4 days a week, pedal to the metal. And it's as good a weight program as I've ever seen. And that's going to change it. And come sit in our leadership meetings. I mean, these are things that we're doing to develop young men. That's what's going to help us win football games. That's what's going to help us win championships. And we're getting close. We are really, really, really close. And but it's all encompassing. And we got we got Jessica Lopez, we got Tyler Shoemate, we got Amanda Bach, we got a great staff. Christian, you know, you'll see the gear that Christian's getting. I mean, it's unbelievable the things that we're getting accomplished here. And it starts at the top. And I keep throwing Mike's name out there. It starts at the top. And that's he's given us every opportunity to get it done the right way.
Awesome. That gets you fired up. That gets all of us fired up. And we appreciate the time. We're going to take a short break here. And when we return, we're going to dive a little deeper into the 2022 signing class with offensive coordinator Aaron Pflugrad and defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge. This is the 2022 Lumberjack Football National Signing Day presented by the Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Are you thinking about a home purchase or refinance? Now's the time to get off the sidelines because at Nova Home Loans, our mission is simply yes. Mortgage rates are near all-time lows, so get in the housing game with our team today. We're quick, smart, and local with the best combination of service, rates, and fees. So call Nova Flag staff at 928-293-7119 or visit novachops.com. That's novachops.com. Nova Home Loans. Yes.
Welcome back to the 2022 Lumberjack Football National Signing Day presented by the Orthopedic and Spine Institute. We appreciated Coach Ball's time to kick off tonight's event. And now we're going to take a look at the offensive side of the ball with offensive coordinator Aaron Pflugrad. Coach Pflugrad, thanks for joining us tonight. And, 12 signees on the offensive side of the ball between the December signing period today, National Signing Day. What were some of the specific goals going into putting this class together on the offensive side of the ball?
We had to be really picky, Stacey. We got 9 returning starters on offense, have a lot of great young players. And so we want to be really picky in the type of men we brought in here. And so we addressed the speed at wide receiver. Coach Taylor did a great job finding 3 key speed guys. Added some young guys at tight end as well. Good young quarterback and a bunch of offensive linemen.
A good young quarterback, that's Angel Flores, a highly accomplished quarterback from Casa Grande High School, the 4A, Arizona 4A Conference Player of the Year. What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, Angel's a great young man, first and foremost. On the field, he's the only quarterback in state history to throw for over 7,500 yards and rush for over 3,000 yards. He had 62 career touchdown passes and 60 rushing touchdowns. So he's a very versatile guy. But the one thing that we hang our hat on and felt that he adds to our program is he's a winner. You know, he's a multiplier. He's a guy who makes everyone around him better. He won a state championship, undefeated season at Casa Grande. And that was the first time in a really long time that they've won that many football games. And so he elevated that community and program, and a great young man that we're looking forward to adding to the mix at quarterback.
And of course, the mix includes the 2021 Big Sky Freshman of the Year. That'd be RJ Martinez. Anybody who saw him play last year knows the type of talent that he is. But, at the same time, you have to build depth, particularly at the quarterback position. And we saw how kind of injuries kind of derailed that position a little bit last year. So how important is it to build that depth at quarterback?
Yeah, I think it's important that everybody in your room can play and feel real good about the 4 guys we have on campus right now. And then Angel actually graduated early, so he's going to get rolling during spring practice. But, RJ getting his feet wet last year, same with Jeff Widener and Nico Hain. And a lot of times you learn by doing, and it's baptism by fire. So excited for those guys to get their opportunities and everybody to go out and compete and raise the level of our offense and football team this spring and going forward into the season.
And to to protect the quarterback, you need strong guys, you need talented guys up front. So let's talk about the trenches. You're slated to bring back 4 of 5 offensive starters on the offensive line, a very veteran group that on paper should be a very, one of the, I would assume some of the most experienced guys in the Big Sky Conference. But in this class, you bring 5 offensive linemen, a couple of notable ones, in-state products, a pair from Mountain Ridge High School, Alexis Sanchez and Caden Hicks. And of course, the big name, at least you see where he's coming from. University of Oklahoma, that's a transfer, Noah Nelson, another in-state product coming back home to Arizona, played his prep ball at Williams Field High School. How excited are you about this group of offensive linemen?
Very excited. And when you got Coach Conley coaching the offensive line, it seems like we're signing 5 guys every year, getting that group up to speed. But I feel really good about these 5. CJ and Cash coming from Cali. Alexis, a very strong and interior guy. Caden got added to us, this weekend actually. And then yes, Noah Nelson won a state championship at Williams Field, big time recruit, and went out there to Oklahoma and wanted to come back home. So as Coach Ball mentioned, that's why we circle the wagon in the state of Arizona and do a great job building those relationships with high school coaches. So when Noah Nelson hit the portal, Coach Campbell's first call was to NAU. And so we're excited to bring him back home, and again, already on campus. So he's going to be able to get reps this spring ball and add to our group.
And RJ Martinez or whomever is under center, it's got a lot of talented guys sling the ball around too. Of course, Hendricks Johnson, Holman Owen, amongst others. But at one key position, tight end position, you lose Matt Kempton, a veteran of this program for so many years. He departs, he graduated. You're able to bring in, and hopefully I get his name right, Isaiah Garena, an all-conference player in the fall as a true freshman at Morgan State. How important was it bringing in a guy like Isaiah, an experienced 4-year transfer, to kind of help fill that void left by Matt?
Yeah, very important. We have some good young players in that position in our program already. They're going to get a chance this spring ball and in the fall to show Lumberjack Nation what they can bring to the table. But bringing in a guy like Isaiah, who's already been in college and was an all-conference player as a freshman, is very important. And then also Braden Kramer out of Colorado is a guy who, his high school coach, old school guy, and really hard worker, is going to fit in really well to our program. So Coach Flew did a great job repopulating that room, and we're going to go compete and find the guys who are going to replace Kempton.
And of course, you see the hashtag on Twitter, WinState48. I also saw another interesting hashtag. I believe it was Peach State Jacks. A couple of Lumberjacks coming in from the state of Georgia, one of whom Chase Belcher from Valdosta, Georgia. He's listed as an athlete. You always love those guys coming in listed as an athlete. Over 1,900 yards from scrimmage over his high school career. Where on the field, or how do you see possibly utilizing him?
Yeah, Chase is a very smart young man, big athlete that can run, that can catch, that can block. So we want to utilize him all over the field. He's going to start in Coach Taylor's room, the wide receiver room, and really learn the ins and outs of that position and playing wide out. But he's also a guy that can carry the ball and catch it coming out of the backfield. So we look to utilize him all over the field, and really hard to find a guy that can do that many things on the football field. So we're really fired up about his future with us at NAU.
And today is National Signing Day, but it doesn't mean recruiting is necessarily over. I'm sure there's a lot of overlooked guys who didn't commit anywhere, didn't sign anywhere today. Maybe some guys left over in the transfer portal. So with that being said, are there any areas on the offensive side where you could look to continue to improve, build that depth, find some quality guys between now and the fall?
Yeah, this level recruiting never stops, and we'll always take an impact player across the board. But the thing I really like about this class is K Office at wideout, Noah Nelson at offensive line, Angel at quarterback, and Isaiah at tight end are already here. So we're ready to hit the ground running. We love our current team and can't wait to get to work with these guys and start putting together a championship football team this spring when we start practicing.
Thanks, Coach Pflugrad, for giving us a little bit of a more in-depth look at the offensive side of the ball. And now we're going to welcome in defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge. Coach Partridge, are you there?
I'm here, Stason.
All right, let's get started. So similar to what I asked Coach Pflugrad right off the top, 14 guys on the defensive side of the ball between the December signing period and National Signing Day. Similarly, were there any specific areas, some specific goals, targets that you were looking on that side of the ball to hopefully put together in this class?
Well, I think first of all, we're pleased with what we have coming back. I mean, we have a lot of experienced football players that have played good defense for us and made big plays and helped us win a gigantic game last fall, but also been a factor in other wins too. And I think when you get your roster the way you want it, your depth chart the way you want it, every year you just kind of find a blanket of depth that you throw over your positions. You know, you want a little something from everything: D-line, linebackers in the secondary, and I think we achieved that. I think one of the main emphasis, we want to shoot for some length. Length is what we're always looking for in about every sport, it seems like, is those inches you're looking for, and longer arms, taller kids, bigger frames, kids with speed, kids with agility. I mean, obviously on defense, you're always looking for toughness and physicality, and I think every one of these kids fit that need. And it's like Coach Ball says, the smartness and then football IQ and the discipline and the hard working and the character, those are things that all go into it. And if you're lacking in one area, then we're not interested in you. So I think, like he said, this is a great recruiting staff, and I think certainly the offense is loaded with them, and I think our defensive coaches do a great job too. And it's very easy to sell kids to come here when they meet our assistant coaches, and especially on the defensive side.
If there's one thing that NAU football, at least on the defensive side in the fall, made a name for themselves, it was creating turnovers, being ball hawks. And the eye-popping numbers in the defensive secondary: 8 defensive backs signed to this class between, the cornerback position, safety, and that hybrid axe position. Was that a specific area, position group that you guys really, as a defensive staff or as a collective, wanted to really hammer home?
Well, like I said, I think every position is something we're looking for, but I think what happened in that area was that there's some kids just too hard to turn down. We probably over recruited what we were going to do, but you just keep looking at some of these players that on video, they're eye popping talents. They have length. They're overall great football players. So many of them have offensive skill as well, where they're returning kicks or carrying the ball as a running back or receiver. And we have very good secondary coaching experience here, with Coach Thompson and Coach Lewanson in the back end, and Coach Ball. That's what he cut his teeth on. That's his expertise area. Believe it or not, I was a DB coach a long, long time ago. Actually was a DB, which is hard for anybody to believe when you look at me now. But it's a secondary emphasis type of a program, and so we feel great about what we signed, and like you said, all 3 safety spots and corners, and we're excited to work with them.
Moving into the second level of that defense, program loses 2 all-conference senior linebackers, veterans, Tristan Bance, Harrison B. Miller. Both eligibility is exhausted. You bring in 2 linebackers, at least at the moment: Brandon Wong, Camille Arquette, both from Northern California. How do you see these 2 guys fitting into the mix? You got a key returner in Jossie Wilson coming back to hopefully kind of fill that void left by such senior leaders in Tristan and Harrison.
Well, one of the things we discussed quite a bit, myself and Coach Ball, was, do we want to get a transfer linebacker, losing, 2 older men like Tristan and Harrison, where Harrison's actually coaching now. So Coach B. Miller, I'm gonna get on him a little bit more as a graduate assistant than I did as a player. I needed him to play last year, so I'm not worried about his feelings as much now. But the transfer deal was something that we thought about, but we feel so good about all those kids that are returning. Like you said, Jossie Wilson, Heston Lametta are 2 kids, and a lot of these young guys like a Jake Schmidt that we think are going to contribute. But feel strongly about Brandon and Camille. Love seeing linebackers that play running back. Those guys that are physical runners and find a hole like Camille can. The same holes they're seeing as running backs, they see them as linebackers. And Brandon Wong, you just kind of fall in love with his football IQ. And he's just so smart, and he loves to talk football. He's smitten with it. He's almost smarter than me, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but both of those 2 kids, you love to put them in a situation where they could come in and redshirt possibly, but if they're good enough to play and they beat kids out, then we're going to play them. And the temptation is going to be there for Coach Unger to use them in a kicking game too, because they're such talented players.
As we look into the trenches, I know a name that the whole staff was excited about is Alani Ma'afu, defensive tackle out of Scottsdale Saguaro High School, where he had an outstanding career, had numerous offers, including a couple of Power 5 schools, Iowa State, Washington State, and he chose to stay in state, come up the mountain to Flagstaff. Now that he's enrolled in school, what do you see from him and what he can bring to the field?
Well, Coach Everett Thompson did a great job of recruiting him. He was actually part of the signing class a year ago. Him, Micah Carrion, Warren Stevens, Tayu are on that list, and they were kids that we did sign a year ago and then brought them now. So they're all three here, and they're all, first of all, great character. They're all thick and strong. They're all very physical and active, and they fit the things we're looking for. And Alani was one of those kids that early on in the recruiting process, we thought we had no shot at. He's literally a ball of butcher knives running around here playing D-line. He's just really active, and stuff is getting messed up as he plays. And that's just what kind of effort and energy he gives when he plays football. And so we're excited to watch those three get plugged in here this spring. And the young man, Zeke, that we signed from Valdosta, was incredible that we were able to get a kid like that, just with great length and arms. And he is how you're supposed to look. And so we're so excited about, again, all three levels of what we signed, the back end and the linebackers and the D-line. And the future is really, really bright when you mix them in with some of the great players we have coming back.
One thing I want to touch on, Coach Partridge, a handful of guys on the defensive side in terms of the signees played in their high school state championship games, played in games with stakes on the line over the course of their high school careers. How much of a benefit is that, recruiting guys, bringing in these types of players who have played for championships? And of course, as we aspire here at NAU to hoist up the trophy.
Well, I mean, winners win, and when they're used to winning, they know how to win. And so many times, winning is hard. It's not easy, like Coach Ball said. And when you know how to do it, somehow it just kind of becomes naturally, winning begets more winning. Just they know how to do it. And a lot of times when you have winning seasons or you have championship seasons, you have to win really, really close games, and you have to be so tuned to the details of winning, and that you gain those little inches, and these young men know how to do it, and all the little small things that you do to create the win when game day rolls around, and to do it consistently throughout a whole football season. When you win a championship or play for a state championship or a national championship, it's good when you have some people with experience to do that.
Absolutely. And, Coach, as we wrap up here, our virtual Lumberjack Football National Signing Day event, as I mentioned, or as I asked Coach Pflugrad, today's signing day, but it's not the end of recruiting. As he mentioned, recruiting never stops. So is there any particular areas that you look to continue to build on as we get through the spring and prepare for the fall?
Well, it's like Aaron said, you don't ever turn down great players, impact players, whatever position they might be. But I think I've coached long enough. There are two spots on the defense that, to me, you can never have enough. You can never have enough D linemen. So if we find an impact pass rusher or an impact just messing up the whole interior O-line type of person, then we got to take those type of guys. And then corners, you could just the shutdown corners and the abilities to make them have to go 9-on-9 and have two guys to shut down the wideouts is huge. And anytime we have somebody like that, we'll be looking for those two, a corner and possibly a pass rusher. But any type of great player, will never turn them down.
Well, Coach Partridge, we want to thank you for your time. We want to thank Coach Pflugrad, of course, head coach Chris Ball, for their insights on the newest class of Lumberjack football players. For more information on this year's NAU football signing class, head over to nauathletics.com. And also, if you missed it, the 2022 football schedule is out as well. Exciting games coming up this year, starting out in Tempe against Arizona State, homecoming game against the national runner-up, Montana State Bobcats. Be sure to put in your season ticket deposits for the 2022 season. The schedule is available online, and those season ticket deposits can also be placed at nauathletics.com. We appreciate you all for tuning in to our virtual 2022 Lumberjack Football National Signing Day presented by the Orthopedic and Spine Institute. We hope to see you all here in the Walk Up Sky Dome come the fall. Until then, as always, go Jacks.